Hey there, just a really quick update on the snow in the Northwest. For those of you who don't live in the Northwest, this probably isn't a big deal to you. Um, Here's what the current radar looks like. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I apologize for that. But I'm trying to remember how to annotate this thing. So, and I might not have the right color, so bear with me here. Okay, so this is the current radar. For the last few images of Portland radar on this website kind of disappeared, but there's this band here moving onshore into the Willamette Valley, which was expected. So our upper level low, our surface low, is offshore here somewhere. I'll show you in a little bit in a minute where that was. But we have this band here moving into the Portland area. Still rain down in the Portland area. For now, at least. I will explain that a little bit. Up in the Seattle area, we had snow. All this was actually snow earlier. Kind of set up from Tacoma northward this afternoon. Here in southern King County, where I am right now, we pretty much had some light accumulations on grassy surfaces and cars. Nothing on pavement, and it's pretty much winding down for now as this convergence area moves up to the north. So let me clear this. Remember how to clear it. I don't know how to clear this. Let's see. There you go. Okay. So in the past, this is the upper air pattern, and I would show you a different. Let me see if I actually can show you a different map. It's a little closer up to the United States, Western U.S. maybe. Okay, well this will be okay for now. So this is the upper trough, which is you can't see north of this, but this is the upper trough, and it's moving south off the coast, down off the coast here, mainly just off the coast actually, over here by the morning tomorrow. And initially, actually, the models were showing this was gonna move more on into the northwest, which would be a little more ideal pattern for snow and for the low elevations. When I say ideal, I mean ideal conditions for snow, not necessarily ideal for you if you don't want the snow. But and then eventually they trended to we're gonna move this a little bit more offshore like this, and that created kind of a warmer scenario here in the lowlands, but still possibly for snow, more chance for moisture as well, but warmer scenario inland. And then eventually they've now come back to, well, we're gonna take this low not far offshore, so it's still not ideal setup for snow northwest, but with this low, the surface low setting it right here, pretty much closer to. Okay, I had to pause that for a while, so I'm probably not gonna leave off exactly the same place that I left off before, but you might have noticed a little jog in the video there. So anyway, I think what I was saying was that this trough was originally forecast to go more over land, then it went more over water, and then eventually it's actually going still over water, but just offshore, with the surface low right near the coast. You actually see one over here too. This is actually associated with a little wave, kind of rotating around the low. But this low will actually move south here into Northern California, and I'll show you that in a bit as well. Actually, I'll go into that right now. So that low will move to the south, as I said, in Northern California. I used the wrong one there, but that's okay. And as a result, this low that kind of rotating, this wave is kind of rotating around the low, kind of move in a kind of weird fashion this way from eastern Oregon into Idaho. All right, so Let me just go to a few quick things real quick just to show you. So it's been a little while since I started this video, so here's an more updated radar. Again, we still don't have Portland radar here coverage. For some reason we lost it. Also lost it on another site I'm looking at, so it's something to do with Portland radar. I'm starting to see this band though moving up into the South Seattle area, and this radar for some reason has been showing it mostly as rain during the day, but this is probably a lot of snow, or some rain snow mix, even though it shows rain in this area. Starting to move into the Seattle area this evening. So as I do this night, it's about 9:30 in the evening on Sunday, February 3rd. It was actually like 7 or so when I first started this video, so it's been a little while. Alright, so let me just go to a couple models from earlier this evening. So this is go back to the beginning. So this is the short-term man model, and basically it's showing you the convergence here that happened earlier today that kind of set up and brought some snow to Seattle area. These two frames kind of get messed up. It happens once in a while. So in these models on this website, so that convergence moving northward here throughout this evening. So now forecast for, actually there's a forecast for 8 o'clock, so this has already happened. But here's that band of rain, onshore flow setting up in the Portland area tonight, and that has happened. So let me go forward in time just 2 more hours. So this is a forecast for half hour from now, and it's forecasting this convergence up here to mostly have died off. And if I go back to the radar, we kind of see it is kind of that convergence is kind of falling apart up in this area right now. So pretty accurate forecast by the NAM model there. But here's this band coming in from the south on the east side of the low. So you see the center of our low is right along the coast. It's right near the Columbia. Sorry, that really bad. It's right near the mouth of the Columbia River here. So it's basically hugging the coast, which is a lot closer than it had, because earlier in past model runs before today, it had this band pretty much setting up here and then moving out west, and so the Seattle area would basically avoid anything, and that's when the surface low was more like out here. So now the surface low for the east, our band and precip is setting up a little further east here. So it's going to rotate into the Seattle area tonight, so I'll show you that here. So as I go forward in time on this model, here's this band of precip now. This is out as of 1 o'clock in the morning, so band of precip moving in the Seattle area, band of snow just east of Portland, actually. So at this point, our surface low, it's hard to tell on this model, but it looks like it's somewhere here, which is actually a little further away from the coast. And as this upper low is kind of spinning around, this surface low is kind of doing this kind of did it up. So it's kind of getting close to the coast and then kind of getting away from it. So anyway, this band is currently rain in Portland. By the time this low, by the time it gets cold enough for precipitation to change over to snow in Portland, this band's pretty much moved east of the city, because the low kind of has to get south of the longitude of Portland here. Remember, in half hour it's still up here. So partly because when it's still north, we have a rotation around the low kind of like this, so we still have some onshore flow northwest Oregon, which is preventing cold air from coming in from the east through the gorge. So that changes once this low gets far enough south And now we don't have that onshore flow up here anymore. Much more offshore flow, so we can have that flow. By that time, the precipitation is kind of moving off to the east tonight. So one reason why Portland is probably not going to get as much snow. All right, so we go a little further through time. Now we see that band rotating up through the Seattle area. Again, 5 o'clock in the morning, 6, 7, 8, 9. So for 9 o'clock in the morning, it has, you know, the span still kind of hanging out up here. Around the Seattle area, it looks like it, you know, kind of lightening up a little bit. The low is still actually sitting right there, which hasn't moved much apparently, according to this forecast model. This is the short-term U.S. model, the NAM model. All right, and if you can't hear me, I'm sorry. I kind of do this a little quietly right now. So anyway, this is 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Actually, that one that I said was 9 was actually 7, so I was a little off with that. But so here is now 12 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, or late morning or afternoon, depending on what you call 12 o'clock. But the low's pretty much down here now, southern Oregon coast, and we still have this band kind of rotating around, but at the same time we start having, here's our surface low kind of roaming through eastern Oregon as it kind of pivots around this low, and this low moves as well. So we're looking at some snow on the northwest side of that as this band actually starts making its way back south slightly, and this is because our low is starting to pull south a little bit. So because our low is starting to pull south a little bit, it has to pull this precipitation with it. So it starts to dry out up here for the most part as we get into tomorrow afternoon. So go a little further in time, now we have our surface low associated with that wave kind of moving through eastern Oregon. That low, I should actually, this low doesn't want to exist there anymore. It's now, it's hard to tell, it's kind of a little bit further south. But this is that wave rotating around, so still have precipitation associated with that band, but also kind of associated with this northwest side of this low, hanging around through south central Washington into parts of southwest Washington, but it's still north of Portland according to this model. Tomorrow afternoon, and most models show this as well as indication. But as we get further into tomorrow night, now this is 10 o'clock tomorrow night. Get rid of those. Our surface low now coming northeast Oregon. Our main surface low is down, kind of getting closer to Northern California. So our upper low is actually starting, is way down here. I don't know exactly where on this map at this point. So basically, this wave is rotating around still, but it's kind of losing support. It's getting a little further away from this parent low, so it's also losing a lot of this moisture coming in from the ocean. So it's losing a lot of moisture. It's going to start to break up tomorrow night here. Right. So, and as a result, Portland doesn't really get much. They could get a little bit, you know, as this band starts to rotate around. But again, it's drying out. It's, you know, this time it's completely dry up in the Seattle area. This is early Tuesday morning now, and so maybe something in Portland, but or the rest of the valley as that band starts to rotate around. Again, our parent surface low is like down maybe further south of this. I don't know. That's why we're starting to get flow more like this now around that low. So that's why this band is starting to orient northeast to southwest now. And again, kind of go south of Portland, but you know, still a chance of snow showers in Portland on Tuesday morning. But again, this is really light stuff as well. And then everything just ends definitely through day Tuesday as the whole system pulls away. So that's just one model. Let's see the short-term model. the US long-term model I'll show you here real quick. That's actually not now. So here is the forecast for 10 p.m. tonight. So in 45 minutes from when I'm actually making this video, it actually has the low inland a little bit as opposed to just offshore. So it has, oops, I can't draw this right now apparently. So it actually has this low further inland than the NAM model did. And this is kind of a more messy picture of the precipitation rate of the radar, and that's partly because it's not as high a resolution model, so it's it's more general. Let me just go through. This is tonight at 4 o'clock in the morning, and so our low is down here. So it's kind of off the coast, right on the coast. And here's that band that it's bringing us down to Seattle. You kind of drew it. If you look at the deepest blues, I mean, this is some blue of Portland, but it's really just east of Portland. So again, this model says, oh, it could be some, but again, that band's mostly going to be out of Portland by that time. 12 o'clock tomorrow, GFS still has snow up in the Seattle area. And it's the same reason that the NAM model did. Surface low now starting to get towards southern Oregon. There's a secondary surface low with that wave rotating around. Mostly dry in Portland, just like the NAM. And then tomorrow it's the same thing. Snow south part of South Sound into south central South Washington, mostly dry in Portland. Maybe no snow showers, but northeast Oregon, north central northeast Oregon getting into snow for sure tomorrow night, and then everything dries out as that low goes away. Same kind of deal. This is one more. It's actually the shortest term model, so high resolution. It's called the high resolution rapid refresh model. It updates every hour. Actually, let me refresh this because there were 2 more runs since I last did this video, so I didn't look at this one yet. Here's its forecast for 10 p.m. tonight, and we'll see what it shows. But I'm looking real close at the screen, and it looks like this. So there's one little surface low here, but the main one is actually somewhere in here, because here's an isobar, and so it's kind of centered right in there. So actually a little bit inland, just like the GFS indicated. But here's that band starting moving to the Seattle area now. As indicated before, and it moves that band in the Seattle area most of the night as well here, but also it keeps that band over the Portland area. Now if you notice, if you look real closely, it's actually green in this area, indicating still holding on to rain there, and it's because the surface low is still up here. This is as of midnight, so still north of Portland, so could still be getting into rain there. Now it does have it starting to change over to snow a few hours later, even though, yeah, as the surface is now 5 a.m., no, 3 a.m., and it has the low here. And here's this band still kind of in Seattle, so kind of important too, but it's starting to move to the east. I'm trying to differentiate colors between blue and green here, but it's hard to do. Let's see. So then this band moves east to Portland. By morning, this is now 6 in the morning, and Portland's dry. This band's east, but Seattle's not dry. So same kind of deal here, early morning. So it looks like Portland could get to some snow here a little bit later in the morning, as soon as that low can get south enough to bring in the cold air in. It's also an Arctic front associated with it. Bring the cold air in and be able to allow some easterly flow through the gorge. Portland can get into a little bit of snow right before that band moves east. How much I'm not. We'll talk about that in a minute, but And then this is a high resolution refresh, keeping that snow band over the whole Seattle area. This is now 8 in the morning as it rotates back around south, and then it rotates it out to the coast by 12 o'clock. It's now 12 o'clock. It rotates out to the coast. Still Portland, still south. Still dry. This low now moving to northeast Oregon, as the other model suggests. And let's see what it does after this. I did 2 more hours on this model still, and that's what it does. So it kind of holds this preset band together. So this is a model actually. It may move this band a little bit south into Portland tomorrow afternoon into early evening, but remember, that's just because this low is right here. But the main surface low, I'm trying to find where the main surface low is. It looks like it may be somewhere down here. Like there are 2 areas, one here, so I kind of drew it. It looks like it's hard to tell. I'm looking at these little tiny thin black lines that you see on here. I'm looking for them down here. So the low's a little further out. So the slower this low goes to the south tomorrow, the higher the chance of snow in Portland still, I believe, because once this low gets too far south, it's going to start drying up here, because it'll lose some of this moisture. And this short-term model, the shorter model is not always the best on this, especially 16 hours out, 18 hours out. But it can be accurate sometimes. So that's what this high-resolution one does. Now let's just look at how much snow this forecast. So this is the NAM model. This is just total amount of snow it forecasts, and that keeps it dry in Portland. The whole Willamette Valley keeps it dry. No snow. Well, not dry, but no snow. A little bit of rain this evening. And up here through Seattle area, it has, if you look at this scale, it's somewhere about in this 2 to 3 inch range. Up in most of the Seattle area is what the NAM model does. This is through, well, this is actually through the whole event. So this is technically through late tomorrow night. I'm sorry, late Tuesday night, actually. So this is after everything is all over. So NAM, again, 2 to 3 inches up here and dry here. The high resolution after refresh. Let me actually go to the newest model run, because that's actually from next hour started already. I haven't looked at this one yet, but this is the one that we just looked at, and it has again for the Seattle area, it has this general maybe some ones, but up to 3, so 1 to 3 inches. Which National Weather Service just issued a weather advisory recently for 1 to 3 inches across this area tonight. Even though this has been shown like this pretty much all day long, this was going to probably happen as it's a little bit closer to shore. In the Portland area, a little less. So it's a little lighter blue, so it's that 0.1 to 1 inch, so an inch or less. So this high resolution refresh just has some more in Portland, and again, it doesn't go beyond 2 p.m. tomorrow. So if that band does hold together, it could bring some snow in tomorrow. Most models, though, kind of break apart that band as it starts moving south tomorrow. So we shall see. Although the NAM did kind of hold together and have more like this off to the east. So this is Portland. I think could see some snow late tonight after the low moves far enough south to change it over, but before the band moves across. So maybe a brief period early in the morning, and then possibly tomorrow late afternoon into evening as that band moves south, if it doesn't break it. That's a big if. So Well, it depends on how far south the parallel root moves and how far, whether it can hold its moisture together there. And I think that is all I wanted to kind of show you as an update. May get to 1 in the morning. I don't know for sure yet. But let's see. I'm actually supposed to teach in the morning, so we'll see if they cancel classes. All depending on the amount of snow we get probably. So, and again, here's that band setting up into Seattle area. I'm actually curious if I can get Portland Radar on their website. Yeah, Portland Radar went down. So, go figure. So, hopefully it comes back up by morning, so we kind of have an idea what's going on. But so, if we don't have any idea what's going on there, then that's why. We could use observations, but it would just be our best guess. Alright, one other thing I wanted to show you, and this is actually does not have to do completely with this snow, but let's see, and it's okay, so I'm showing you the upper air pattern for go back to the beginning here, for from GFS model for this for the long range. And I'm doing this because I want to show you how things are setting up for the next week or two. So basically, in general, we have this big ridge sitting up over Alaska, and then this trail coming to the northwest. Now, that's kind of general, but over here is more, you kind of have this sort of pattern, which is kind of what you need to get lowland snow in the northwest, because you need this big ridge, so you need those systems to come over and be able to, you want a pattern that kind of looks like this, because you want to be able to pull this cold air out of Canada, but at the same time you want this moisture feed from the ocean here, so you need some trajectory of your air pattern, of your jet stream to be over the ocean, but you also need to be close enough to the coast to have this cold air flow from inland. So, okay, so here is the GFS forecast model. So here's this first one coming through right now. Today, this is this upper low coming in. That's lowering snow level. So this is why we're getting snow most of the time. Our systems that come in from the Pacific have to kind of just come in like this, and so they're basically over the ocean, and the air there is way too warm. So, so this is the first one. And I say the first one, you'll see why. Not to scare anyone, but so here's how the pattern progresses, and then so after this one, we actually get a ridge here, starting to try to move into here, but notice this next low here is this little trough, and what that's going to do as we go forward in time, this is now Wednesday, it's going to say, oh, yeah, this ridge over here was too weak, and this low is able to just kind of knock it down. So we have this coming Thursday, Friday. Again, this ridge rebuilds right over Alaska, and then we get this. Now this on GFS model is a little. It's weaker. It's not as cold. You don't have a lot of cold air coming in, so it actually keeps a lot of the lowlands, at least the immediate lowlands, like the lowest elevations, warm enough for rain on Thursday, Friday on the GFS model because of this. So the snow levels are a little higher, probably more like 1,000 feet. But so that's the next one coming down, and then it has some cold air capture coming in behind it, which is a little interesting to me. There's no really well-defined system there, although there's a little bit of a little bit of an Arctic front, but that's pretty weak. That's for Friday night. Again, this is just one model, so I'll show you the European model, which is even more accurate long term. And then again, this is also the oh wait a second, hold on. I am going to go back because this is the afternoon model run. It's been so long I didn't even look at the evening model run. Let's see what the evening model run does. Okay, so here's the first one. I go forward in time. This is the first one for today. It's coming through, and then here's the next one for Thursday. So it's a little stronger. It still doesn't have an ideal feed of cold air from GFS model. Cold air is still kind of bottled up in here, but it does have a little bit of a trough, a little moving down the coast. So still looks like higher snow levels. I haven't actually looked at that the details of what it forecasts, but just first glance looking to me what it's going to do. But then it's like the afternoon does have cold air then coming down a little bit, so it has another. This is again on Friday night, so it's actually kind of similar to the last one. Anyway, so potential snow event again Thursday, Friday. Snow levels could be higher at least until this cold air comes in Friday night, but it's just looking at this. I won't go into details on it yet until we get past this current event, probably. And then we go a little more forward in time. This ridge is trying to rebuild up to the west, but we have this next little low, and it wants that's kind of okay. So GFS is doing some odd things with this ridge and that low passing through it, but this is actually pretty far offshore, so this would actually probably be a warmer low early next week, according to GFS model. This is why a lot of things can change, because you need it to be like in an exact position for it to, for you to get snow here. Because if too far offshore, it stays too warm. Too far inland, you may get cold air, but if you do, you don't have a lot of moisture with it. And then there's potential another one. Well, that's kind of offshore too. So the point is, in the long term, at least the GFS model is trying to set up this consistent ridge here, and then have some systems trying to build here for chances of snow in the lowlands. Okay, let's just look at the European model real quick. And this is actually the new one that's just coming in, which is only out for 2 days. So I'll look at the spoilings first, and then we'll go back to that and see how much of it is in at the point. And we'll see what the European is doing. This won't take as long because they're every 24 hours. But here's today's same kind of pattern, which is expected because it's what's currently happening. So they know what's happening now. See what it says about what's happening in the future. So here is the European model now this is now Friday morning. The European model has this big ridge over Alaska, and then it has this next one coming down already on Friday morning. So some cold air coming in. It kind of has a GFS model, but it actually looks like it's a little colder. So we have snow levels a little lower. Again, this is this morning's, so I'll see what this evening's does if it's in enough here. Time it's 120 hours, probably isn't that far out. And then the European model has another one, the ridge, Here's the ridge, and then another snowmaker. This is actually a pretty potent looking one on the European model for next Monday to Tuesday, but still lots of time for this one to develop too. But this has this cold air coming down. It's right on the coast, has enough trajectory of water to give potentially a pretty good snow event. Matter of fact, this morning's European model I can't show you, but it had almost a foot of snow total in Seattle over the next week, and a lot of it was from this event. So again, though, lots of things can change, and probably will look different on the one that's just coming in now, for example. So, and then keeps that ridge just kind of over Alaska, which is where a good place for snow in the Northwest. So let's see if the new model run does. In short, it looks like, we're looking at potentially multiple chances of lowland snow over the next week. Thursday, Friday still a little iffy. Snow levels might be higher. I haven't looked at that in detail yet. And then possibly one hour next week, but the GFS does some really odd things with it. So here's the European model. This is the current one coming through, and this is now Wednesday. So here's this trough that we're watching here as it comes into the Gulf of Alaska. Basically, we have this ridge, this general ridge, and this is starting to knock down this ridge here. And then if you look at the next 24 hours, it's knocking down the ridge enough that the ridge is rebuilt just to its west, but it has a couple pieces of energy, one there, which suggests to me that I'll see what it does in the next 24 hours if I'm still working on this. Actually, I might pause it and come back to it. That these two might make for a larger offshore trough, which would be warmer, just like the GFS kind of indicates. In which case, snow levels in the day will be higher than Thursday, Friday, if that's the case. But we'll see. Basically, this is a 72-hour forecast. I'm waiting for the 96 to come in. So actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this video for a little bit and you'll see it jump. But at that point, more of these should hopefully be loaded in, and I can see how the forecast, its forecast goes for the rest of the time. And then I'll end the video and see if I can upload it and send it. So, pausing for now, and you'll see it jump. Okay, I am resuming. Probably noticed now, it's a little bit later, that everything's out through almost 216 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and cover. I left off on 72 hours. And I told you this next trough was coming around the ridge and kind of split into two with this trough up here and then a little one here. And I said this looks like it may come to something kind of far offshore, and sure enough, the next 24 hours it has a pretty big trough offshore. This would definitely be, if it brings precipitation northwest, this would definitely be rain in the lowlands. It's much too warm here in the lowlands for this. However, like the GFS model, it still has this northern trough, one that was right here. It still has it up here. Still has this cold air coming and kind of locked into Canada, and so what the European do with it, it takes that into the northwest, just like the GFS did here on this now Friday. So let me just go show you what the GFS looked like for the same time. Go back a little bit. GFS here. So it did the same thing. It had this. As a matter of fact, it looks almost the exact same. It's true. GFS had this weak low a little further offshore, now coming into California and the European. Basically the same thing. I'll run with the southern one, but and so instead of Thursday, Friday now, the possible snow looks like it could be Friday, Saturday. So maybe one more day in advance here on the European model, and it's now looking at Saturday, and there we have cold air coming into the northwest, so onshore flow, although a lot of the flow might be coming into California on the south end of this onshore flow from moisture, so I'm not sure exactly in this far in advance, no way telling all these details. As you see with this current system, we lost a lot of details. I'm sorry, I lost a lot of details. A lot of details were not available until we got pretty close to the event, as they kept flip-flopping exactly where that low was going to go. And here in the northwest, it matters a lot more than like in the east. It matters a lot more because so much influence from the mountains, so much terrain around here that little differences in these tracks make a big difference. And where snow falls, unlike in the plains, little differences that make as much of a difference. This so would make a difference, of course, in the eastern part of the country. But anyway, so we have this trough with coming offshore, bringing us cold air, and then some moisture. Again, still too early to tell exactly how much. This is far in advance. Let's go to the GFS at the same time. GFS, this is where the models start differ a little bit. So GFS is a little further north, doesn't have as much moisture in here as the European. So this is wide differences. This is now Friday. This is now Saturday. Differences are starting to really show up, and it's beyond 5 days, so that makes sense. GFS, if you remember, took this next trough and cut this little flex straight through this ridge, cut this ridge off, which was the start of when GFS started getting a little weird. But if you go to the European, it took that same trough, and rode over the ridge as would be expected. So it's right here at the same time. It's a little more believable. But this is basically potential next one. So let's see what happens here. And so going to Sunday on GFS on the European model, sorry. We now see it takes us down to the northwest, so we have another potential. This is on Sunday, and possibly into Monday. I'll show you that in a second too. Probably Monday would actually be the more likely day for any kind of low elevation snow if we get it. But you see this ridge just to the west is starting to break down. These lows are getting a little stronger and stronger, starting to cut into this ridge. This next trough is cutting into a little bit more. We have this upper low that actually got cut off down here, cutting into this ridge, making this ridge pretty narrow, which could be the start of the end to this kind of pattern. We'll see if that happens on these models. But let's look at the GFS for this same time again. Again, this next one coming up, this is a lot of offshore, but these kind of details are way too far in advance. But here's the next trough, really pinching this ridge. I mean, a lot more than the European, but we still have this cutoff down here too. So one more day in the future on Monday. This is what the GFS did, if you remember. It keeps this trough over here. Another chance of lowland snow, and it actually has a ridge starting to rebuild. Got cut off, but now starting to rebuild off to the west of the GFS model. The European model, it is not starting to rebuild. This is a decent setup for lowland snow if that happens at the end of the northwest. And I looked at the European model forecast for snowfall, and actually has some decent amount of snows here. This is at the time this morning, had some decent snowfall too, but completely different looking pattern. So still over a week in advance can change quite a bit. So definitely not saying either one of these is actually going to happen. But European does build the ridge. Actually, I said didn't, but does a little bit, but not as much. European, sorry, not as much of the GFS as this is the European. Kind of extends its trough way out into the ocean here. Again, GFS at the same time does not do that, but has the ridge building a little more to the west. So, and then one more day, next Tuesday. Again, this is way into future now, and you see this is where models really start to differ. I mean, up through 5 days are pretty much similar, but then they start really these just little differences in the near term cause huge differences in the long term, as is the case with chaos theory. But GFS is trough offshore, ridge building back up a little bit to the west. I'm not going to bother trying to tell you that what might be a little Lindstone possibility because so many differences at this point. European takes that low and Northwest is kind of does a very interesting retrograde into the Pacific, which was kind of weird, but it does still build this ridge over it, so it's kind of odd looking. It's kind of like a Rex block in a way, but over the ocean, which it's kind of odd, like I said. But those will keep changing, of course. And then one more day. This will be next Wednesday. This is what GFS does. I just said next Wednesday because that's as far out as the European goes, but here's the ridge and kind of deep trough over the north-south elongated trough, which wouldn't be a snow that too much in the northwest if this was to happen. Too much ocean flow for sure. Too much ocean influence. As this ridge actually is a little bit not as magnified into Alaska. And then the European at the same time, which was not in last I saw. Let's check. Oh, it is now. So I've not seen this, and again, that's actually does kind of get that Rex block with the broad ridge there, and then this low sitting in the middle, underneath sitting in the middle of the ocean, which would definitely be warmer in the northwest. But again, lots of differences far ahead of time. So just one. So yeah, this is actually. I'll just show you this real quick. This is just the entire 16 days for the GFS model. If you can't see, this is the west coast. I'm outlining it red here, down the bottom of the screen, and you see in general you get this ridge pattern over Alaska, and these little waves just kind of little troughs run up and around and into the northwest often, and those can create chances of lowland snow if they set up correctly. If we get the kind of pattern that looks more like this, and often some of these resemble that kind of a pattern here coming up into the next few weeks. So depending on how things set up, could have multiple chances of lowland snow now and then later this week, maybe Friday, Saturday. Again, details are going to change, and then maybe again next Monday-ish. That could definitely change time-wise to Monday, Tuesday. But we'll see how things evolve. So just give me an idea of what's coming up. So as for tonight, I kind of already presented that, and I think trends are still pretty much on track. I'll check the radar one more time before I go. And here's that band. Yeah, this is actually all snow. I'm not sure why this radar is showing rain, but this band's starting to move into the Puget Sound area. Still not Portland's not in service, but this band probably extends still down into here. It's probably still rain. I haven't checked observations, but probably still rain. But starting to push to the east as that low starts running south. You can see these bands are starting to push east as well. So they're kind of rotating. So it's going to basically rotate from a position like this to kind of like this overnight, and so Seattle area is going to be kind of in the middle of most of the night, but Portland area is going to get out of it. Let's check those observations in Portland here real quick, and then I will end this and send it so that people can actually view it. Since this isn't live, okay, so it's 37 in the southern suburbs, and then 39 at Portland International Airport. So it's starting to fall a little bit, but not quite there yet. So it's gonna take a little bit of time. As a matter of fact, if you look, the winds in Portland are still south. Still from the south, which means they haven't shifted to the colder Arctic area on the north side of the low, which was expected quite yet anyway. But let me look at some other ones around. West-northwest winds, so Astoria starting to shift more to northwest. You see south of Portland, south at Eugene. Hillsborough is still south. North-northeast at southwest Washington, so starting to shift to southwest Washington. North, of course, at Seattle. Seattle's already been north of the front for a while. McMinnville still to the southwest. Salem south of the front. Scappoose south of the front. Portland, Troutdale, and Aurora and Pearson. I'm not really sure where Pearson is, but that one's also south of the front. So it looks like the front is potentially located somewhere in southwest Washington. So at the moment, and it's 11 o'clock now, and I've done this over time period this afternoon, obviously. So it's a little bigger, and this is as of 11 o'clock observations, which are just not completely in. Maybe are. I don't know if they're all in yet, but yeah, you can see north winds here. Sorry, let's try that again. These wind barbs, so here's the station, and then the wind barbs pointing toward the northeast, so that means the winds are heading northeast. Here the winds station, winds toward the southwest, so the Arctic front is, the front is somewhere in here. The low, it's marking right off coast, near Astoria, which actually is kind of where we expected. So, like I said, Astoria is starting to shift. Kind of where expected this time of night. And here's the low associated with this wave coming around this, rotating around this low. So that'll keep shifting, and it'll kind of move erratically as this low moves down. So I'm trying to clear this a few things. Okay, so yeah, so this band's sitting up here. It's gonna start shifting up more off to the east, and as this low comes down, this Arctic front, which is situated right in here at the moment. So there's the Arctic front here about 11 o'clock, a little north of Portland, coming south. As this low comes south, it'll be able to bring in cold air into Portland and start shifting the winds to the north, start lowering temperatures, start allowing some cold air to move forward. So there could be a brief period of snow before that band moves off to the east in Portland tonight. And again, the next chance in Portland will be late tomorrow afternoon, evening, as that band continues to rotate. So it'll rotate from here to here to here, throughout the day, as I kind of showed you. And if it can rotate into Portland as that low tracks this way. Tomorrow afternoon, that's when Portland can see more snow. A little more snow, but it's going to be starting to break up too as it loses moisture as this main low is going to go way south into California, so it's going to be losing moisture as it does that. So this is why Seattle area is going to be getting more snow tonight. Portland area maybe a little tonight, but on the east they'll get less snow, and then probably not get it much into this band tomorrow before it breaks up. So there you go. And one more thing you'll notice, Bellingham here is already into the upper teens, 18. So there's a stronger front. It's 28 in Everett, as Everett, no, that's Port Townsend, looks like 32 in Seattle. So there's definitely another. They actually have another front here. It's not stationary, I don't think, but definitely strong gusty winds with temperatures going in the upper teens right now. So there's some pretty cold air coming down with that front. I don't know if that front's actually how far south that'll make it, but if it'll make it that far south, probably not very far. Apparently, the market and stationary is probably not moving too much. But yeah, that's what's going on now. So maybe if I get a chance, I'll update in the morning. But that's it for tonight. So have a good night, and I'll talk to you then. Thank you for watching this long thing. Like I said, I had to be quiet, so I'm sorry. I had to be a little quiet. Hopefully you can understand me. But try to make it a little shorter, more of a new one. So, thank you. Good night.